So we're going to break down the Raw following Saturday night's main event. And of course, Saturday night's main event really was kind of what we were focused on when this show started. This show was all about Gunther. It was all about John Cena. It was all about reacting to that emotional finish to John Cena's match, his last match, to Saturday night's main event. How was we going to open this show? I think we all thought that Gunther was going to open the show and was going to come out. Some of you even suggesting he should come out to John Cena's music, which I think they should have done, actually. They didn't do that, but I think it would have been a really good idea. But they gave him his normal music, Gunther. Out he came and straight over to the commentary table. Arms outstretched, massive smile on his face. He was absolutely loving this. The truth is, John Cena gave up, right? Tapped out, submitted, right? Well, however you want to word it, right? And I know a lot of people out there wouldn't have done that. I know many of you out there would have done that. I've seen all kinds of responses. I've seen some people saying that he shouldn't have lost, right? I've seen some people saying he should have been pinned. I've seen people saying he should have passed out. I've seen people saying that the tap out was perfect. There is all kinds of reaction to this. I think, though, what we can agree on is that the reason why it went the way it went was to put Gunther over as strong as possible, right? And so we gave him the absolute most we could have given him. There is nothing more than Gunther could have been given here, right? Unless he actually, killed John Cena, right? But actually getting the never giving up man to give up is the absolute most you can give him. We have to capitalize on that now. We have to, otherwise it will just be a waste. It will just all be for nothing. So I really am not down on them going as far with this as they want. I thought this was a really strong open. I thought it was really good how Gunther came down, big smile on his face, arms outstretched, just absolutely loving the heat. There was an FU Gunther sign in the crowd. There was also a Triple H sucks sign in the crowd. It is true that some of that heat, a good chunk of that heat, has not gone to Gunther. It's gone to Triple H, and that can't be ignored because there's plenty of anger towards Triple H for booking that finish the way that it went. Gunther, though, short and sweet, looked right down the camera when he did get in the ring. I did what I said I would do. I made John Cena give up. And when he gave up, he tapped out like a little... And I'm not saying the words because I'm not a heel. But there we go. I mean, you've got to make the most of this. What happened on Saturday happens. The hatred for Gunther and Triple H is, out there. And Gunther now, of course, is going to be making statements like this. If he didn't, then what we did on Saturday would be minimized. So I don't have an issue with any of this, right? The way that they're using it, I think they're using it the way they should use it, trying to get the heat, and he got big heat. I mean, it was loud. I don't quite think it was Roman after WrestleMania 33 levels. You might remember Roman after he beat Undertaker in the main event of WrestleMania. I mean, Roman, who was very divisive at that time anyway, beating a legend like Undertaker. And it seemed at the time like Undertaker had retired, left his coat in the ring, left his hat in the ring, went over and gave, I think it was Michelle, a kiss. She was in the front row. And then he puts his arm in the air as he gets lowered down. I mean, that felt like it. And it was meant to be it, but he was not happy with his final performance. But anyway, the heat that Roman got on the Raw following WrestleMania 33 is legendary. I don't think this got to that level, but it was still truly significant. Gunther would get out the ring, he would come back again a couple of times, make those comments again a couple of times as well. Maybe we went a bit too much with that. I don't know. I don't know that he needed to keep coming back, but he was enjoying himself. When he went to the back, he bumped into Otis. He bumped into R-Truth. He bumped into Adam Pearce, who said, "You're done for the night. Find the exit." As he went to his car, AJ Styles was there. And this was big, to be honest, because this very much teases something between Gunther and AJ. And I was asked, like, okay, how would we use AJ in 2026? And I was like, well, I wouldn't have him in tag matches. I understand it's probably the best way of getting him on TV regular because he doesn't have to do all the workload. I get the logic for it, but it's just a bit dull. I'm just not really into it. The tag division is not that important, and I sort of feel like if AJ's coming towards the end of his career, I just want to see him having banger singles matches. The match he had with John Cena earlier this year was absolutely incredible. That what I'm looking for is AJ against Ilya, AJ against Sammy, AJ against Gunther. Like, give me those matches where AJ goes in against a really good in-ring talent. We said that before Raw, and then literally at the end of the opening segment, we've got these two staring at each other, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take that over the tag division. I'll take that over the tag titles, right? So I'm very much into this. But I think actually having AJ in that tag team makes sense because it's just a way of AJ getting on TV regular because his body is pretty broke down. John Cena revealed that AJ feels like he's already outstayed his welcome. His body is shot. He doesn't think he's got much more to give. He's definitely stepping away in 2026. Just don't quite know when yet. So basically, Gunther got in the car, hit the "you can't see me," drove away from AJ Styles. Slamex there, enjoying that one. It was very, very fun. Right, and that was the end of our open. Not really too much concrete there, apart from Gunther's heat is real, and we potentially tease some with AJ. Rebecca said, hang on, let me get this straight. If you win a match legitimately, you get sent home. You win your match illegally outside interference. Not only do you not get punished, but you get rewarded. Sad. What has Monday Night Raw become? So that's Becky reacting to Gunther being told to leave, go to the exit after rubbing it into the fans. But the fact that Maxxine Dupri is just allowed to swan around with the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So there was Becky's comments following that open. Then we went to our first match. Now, I can tell you, you lot said this was good 97. Some of you, a good chunk of you, thought it was even great, but it didn't quite get to that level. It just stopped at good 97. I think this is fine. I think it's good. I wouldn't have minded if this got low end great. The only thing I would say is this was nowhere near as good as their previous encounters. Some of these matches these guys have put on, these two teams have put on, are absolute tag team classics. I think the fact that they just are getting in the ring quite cold, you know, they've not been feuding, there's no house shows for them to kind of get tuned up on. All of that playing a factor as to why this match couldn't reach the levels that we associate Usos and New Day to be at. Here's Creative Humor saying, a new era starts tonight. The Usos and New Day have faced one another about 7,543 times. This was the first match of the new era, and it was two teams that have faced each other many, many times. Grayson was at ringside. He was removed from ringside, and 1D, 1, 2, 3, the Usos defeat the New Day. So Usos managed to get the victory. Of course, that makes sense. Jay, a little bit lost, a little bit down. He's joined up with Jimmy. A lot of people commenting about how they just looked a little bit off with their conditioning. I mean, like, you know, there was maybe a few little moments in here that were a little bit sloppy. But again, I think they've come into this really cold. You know, Jay was doing singles stuff throughout this year. New Day don't get to compete that often anymore. Usos haven't been together for a long time. And so, you know, no house shows or anything. So, yeah, the fact they were still able to get like a really good match out of this, I think is to be applauded. Genuinely, I think it was to be applauded. It was also revealed on January 5th, we're going to get the Women's Tag Team Championship match. So it's going to be the Tag Champs Kabuki Warriors against Io and Rhea. That's the same show where we got Bron Breakker taking on CM Punk. So they're really building up that January 5th show. It's the 1-year anniversary of us going over to Netflix. Love this segment. Really think we should have been doing more of this backstage interactions. It's what made the Bloodline so good, was that we knew about how everyone felt about each other. We dug into their relationships. We could do little looks and know exactly what it meant because we saw all these backstage segments. We've not been getting that on a regular basis for the Vision, but we got it here and I thought it worked really, really well. Heyman said he'll take all the help he can get from the Masked Man. He keeps saying he doesn't know who it is, but he's got a problem with Ray. He's got a problem with LA Knight and all of LA Knight's friends. He's got a problem with CM Punk. I'll take all the help I can get, was the point that he was making, and it was a point he made very well. He pleaded with Bron Breakker, please don't take out CM Punk. 21 days. It's not long. In 21 days, you can be the world heavyweight champion. Just please don't take out CM Punk. Bron was like, but if I do it, he's going to be weakened. Heyman was like, he won't be weakened. He won't be there. So you won't be champ. So again, really interesting to see this interaction between them. Heyman pleading with Bron, please, look, I know you can do it, but please don't take him out. Just kind of builds up a little bit of aura, a little bit of believability. Heyman pleading with Bron, look, I know you can murk Punk, but just don't, please. You're 21 days away. Yeah, leave him alone. Right, then we went to our next segment. This was Rhea and Io making their way down to the ring. Asuka out of nowhere missed him, but I thought the miss looked a little bit weak. It's like she used water instead of whatever she normally uses. So, she missed Rhea on the outsides. Then we get this moment where Asuka holds down Rhea and Kairi was going to deliver an elbow. Io takes the bullet for Rhea. Asuka didn't give a flip. Asuka was dancing around after, absolutely loving it. Kairi was actually quite upset, like screaming out at Io, like, why did you do that? Why, that was not meant for you. There's still little flickers in Kairi where she doesn't want to hurt Io. But, I feel like Kairi is pretty much full on heel by this point. There was a lot of people asking, or a few people asking, why bother doing this? But we know we're building up towards a showdown on January 5th. I think the alternative was Rhea and Io came down and cut a bit of a promo. I found this to be a bit more interesting than that. So there's going to be time for promos and things along those lines. This is, the segment we ended up getting. It was pretty short, pretty sweet. I wasn't down on it. Show up until this point was not bad, honestly. Everything was quite good. Good Gunther bit. Opening match was fine. It was good to great. This was short and sweet, but it did sum up. We had a backstage segment. Things are cooking at this point. Definitely we need to kick on a little bit, but things are in a good place. And then we get to the Maxxine match. Now, what I'm going to say about this, right, is I'm not a hater, okay? Not a hater. I wish Maxxine all the best, but it is really hard to take someone that has been a bit of a joke character, someone that's been in Maximum Male Models, Alpha Academy, someone that, has had chants at her of you can't wrestle, right? Because we know she's not had an NXT run, and we know that she's been on the main roster a couple of years and has had just a handful of singles matches, right? A lot of the stuff she's done has just been really throwaway. So it's really hard to take that person and make them women's intercontinental champion. I feel like the work we're doing right now is the work we should be doing to build her up, to get her ready to challenge for the Intercontinental. Not put the belt on her and then do all this work. It's so backwards. And I find it so hard to get on board with. It's like they're so desperate to justify why they've done what they've done. We've done this. This is what we've done. now we're going to desperately try and convince you that, you know, we were right to do it. And it's just, it's a difficult one to swallow. I got to tell you. I mean, you lot scored this match good 81%. Crowd were really quiet for this. I do want to, though, raise up a point. This moment here I thought was good. And I was really surprised they allowed her to do it. This is Maxxine reversing, going over, look, and then bang into like a bit of a pile driver. Into a bit of a destroyer type move. I thought that looked good. And for me, that was the best part of the match. I felt that there were other parts of it that looked a little bit sloppy. There were other parts of it that just didn't seem to kind of flow that well. I don't know. It's just a real difficult one to get on board with. I so wish this did not have the Intercontinental belt involved in it. I so wish that this was just us building up Maxxine, trying to, you know, I think there'd be so much more goodwill towards her if that was the case. You know, it is like you've put the belt on her and now you're trying to justify why you've done that. And yeah, it's a tricky one. Of course, Maxxine gets the win. She should get the win. You know, she's only just won the Intercontinental Championship. So Maxxine submits Ivy Nile. Where Ivy Nile goes from here, I've got no idea. Yeah, the flipping job centre, I haven't got a clue. So Ivy Nile gets submitted to Maxxine Dupri. And here's Becky. She said this match should never have happened in the first place. Maxxine did not successfully win her first title defense because I am still the Intercontinental champ. It does not count. The Bulldog has been notified and has notified the WWE Records Department. So Becky still crashing out over the fact she lost this championship to Maxxine. I don't know how people are going to react to that online. I don't know what people online are saying. I can only talk about our community. I can only talk about my feelings. I don't wish Maxxine any ill will, but this is just a hard one to swallow. You lot scored it good 81. Crowd were pretty quiet. Then we went to our next bit. So this was Adam Pearce backstage with Javon. He said Javon has got his attention. So, I mean, it's great that Javon's around. I don't know if he's now called up. That's, you know, something we're going to have to wait from, like, Fightful to hear from Fightful. But there he is. We got a lot of, like, Spanish being spoken by El Grande. And there's Rayo. And so apparently these two are going to face next week. So we are going to see the young OG next week taking on Rayo. Certainly not down on that. I mean, if this is a call-up, fantastic. Still not sure if it is or if it isn't. Maybe they're just testing him out, seeing how he does, taking it a step at a time. It'll be very interesting to see what Fightful Select find out. Here's Otis during commercial break saying, Gunther, you don't keep your mouth shut. The Dozer is going to shut it for you. The Dozer. That's what he's calling himself, Otis, the Dozer. No sign of Maxxine with these guys and no sign of these guys with Maxxine. So I sort of feel like their partnership is done. She did still come out to Alpha Academy music, though. She did still come out to their theme and everything. So I feel like that needs to change if this is done. So a little bit of work to be done there with the presentation. Then we had CM Punk come out. By this point, we're about an hour and 20 odd minutes into the show. About an hour on 20 minutes in. Bron Breakker, you cross-eyed Neanderthal Nepo baby. Brains don't exactly run in your family. He went off. You want 2021 CM Punk. You can't handle 2025 CM Punk. He said, if you ever mention my wife's name again, this goes from business to personal faster than you can run. And it won't be about the belt anymore because I'm going to rip your eyes out of your head. I'm going to pee on your single digit IQ brain. He went off on everyone. Bron, call up your dumb father and his dumber brother Scott. You're going to need all the help you can get. You'll see Paul Heyman has left you for the next big thing, and Bronson Reed is reduced to making TikToks with a YouTube scammer. Mate, there was quite a few people that were like, oh my God, I am back into this show now. I think if you want reasons to watch this week's Raw, the Gunther Open is definitely worth viewing. This promo is definitely worth viewing, right? GTS equals 1, 2, 3. Firework. Great work from CM Punk. Finn Balor is with JD McDonough. Dominic says he's going to be out for a little while, yeah. We did find out earlier today that JD is having surgery. I think it's on his hands. He said it was nothing major, nothing to worry about, just niggles. He's like, I'll be right back. So I don't think we need to worry about anything, too drastic. But JD McDonough is out for a little while. I didn't get this either. I'm glad SlamX picked up on this. On the screen, you had JD McDonough against like a Hulk Hogan type character, but it had like a bit of a demon vibe to it. I didn't really get that. It's just, I don't think there's anything to it. I don't think there's anything subliminal there. I don't think there is. It was just a weird character that they had created. It was like a creator wrestler. So I'm not sure really what that was all about, but that was what was happening on the screen in the background. WWE also said LA Knight has got a cracked sternum and will be out indefinitely. Big Bronson Reed taking to social media to go, lol. Right, then we had Stephanie against Raquel for the Women's World Championship. So this match, another match that underwhelmed, you lot said was good 87. So better than Maxxine and Ivy, but well below Usos' New Day. Nikki Bella would attack during the match, kind of kept everything strong. Raquel doesn't take a loss. Stephanie doesn't take a loss. Nikki Bella interfering, showing that she is far from done with Stephanie, and I'm sure the fans are going to be thrilled. Rhea Ripley is going to face Asuka next week. She demanded Asuka. She got Asuka. That match made for next week. Adam Pearce tells Paul Heyman he wants to know who the masked figure is by the end of the night. Heyman was like, look, I don't know who it is. It's convenient for me, but it doesn't mean that I'm behind it. So, but, we would find out who the masked person is. Then we actually got a little moment with CM Punk and Rey, and with everything that happened with John Cena retiring, this was just a nice little moment. CM Punk made it clear that he would be there for Rey if needed, because Rey and Logan was going to be our main event. Then we heard from Nikki Bella. She said, I am a legend in this business. Stephanie and Raquel should be shining my boots. So she's very clear that she is not done. Here's the match card for next week. It's going to be Bayley against Roxanne. Look at these graphics as well. Javon against Ryo. And we've also got Rhea against Asuka next Monday on Raw. This was Sean Ross Sap. I mean, he doesn't look happy, does he? He doesn't look happy. Pete Dunne as Ryo, shoved into that mask. Oh, mate. My heart breaks for him. Again, people on our watch along like, this is worse than Shorty G. What are we doing to Tyler Bates and Pete Dunne? So there we go. I mean, they are from just down the road from me. Pete Dunne's like a couple of miles away from where I was born. Birmingham is where my family are from. That's where Pete Dunne is from. I do like the idea that if somehow in a different timeline I had been in wrestling with them, I would be the third member of this group. Or maybe, more likely, Trent Seven. We'd need a bigger mask. But, if he'd stuck around with these guys, is this what British strong style would be used for? Just put them in these kind of masks and it breaks your heart, doesn't it? It flipping breaks your heart that they're being used that way. But at least they're getting paid really well. They're on TV. They're still with the company. Who knows what the future's going to hold? Right, Lyra Valkyria fired up Bayley. Bayley was really down after losing to Sol Ruka, and Lyra fired her up. And, she's ready for Roxanne next week. We also had a Advert, this time it was the Liv one. They thought I was out, gone for good. Cute. But what doesn't kill you makes you live. So I believe that was the first time we saw the Liv Morgan WrestleMania ad. She also tweeted this out. It's the Judgment Day Clubhouse. There is a Liv doll and the Nuggie. So the Hot Ones. Oh yeah, that's when they went on the Hot Ones versus, which I believe was won by Dominic. So this is the little shrine area to Liv, and she just took a picture of that and shared it on social media. Right, main event time. So Logan against Rey Mysterio. I can tell you that you lot scored this good. Again, it's another match that didn't blow minds. Good 93. The in-ring really underwhelming. I've got to say it. Really underwhelming. Logan uses a belt. Ref discretion. Yeah. The belt was used right in front of the ref, but yeah, I mean, ref discretion. During the commercial break, Logan actually took a selfie with this guy. Got a fan. I couldn't tell if he knew these people. I'm not sure if he did or if he didn't, but he grabbed their phone and took a selfie during the commercial break. When we came back, we did get the Vision coming down. CM Punk would get a chair and start taking those guys out. During all of that, the Masked Man would appear. He would deliver a curb to Rey Mysterio, and of course then Logan would get the victory. So Logan got the win. The big question was, were we going to find out the identity of the Masked Man? And the answer to that was yes, we did. The Masked Man removed the hood and everything, and it turned out to be a head shaved Austin Theory. Now, a couple of things to say about this. We know that Theory was meant to be in the Vision Survivor Series team. We know that Theory was meant to be the person under the hood at Survivor Series. So this reveal is shocking to pretty much no one, right? Unless you don't follow the news and the rumors. So we sort of knew this. But is there a second person? Because we also know that last week the person under the hood seemed to be a bit thinner. I said there is a real good chance that WWE just have one person, right? And the person last week was just someone that they used because it didn't matter. We weren't doing the reveal last week. We just got someone else instead rather than fly Theory in for it. So it could just be that. There could have only ever been one mystery person, and this is your reveal. It's this guy. That's it. Mystery person. Done. Or we do have a second person that's going to be revealed. And so the mystery thing might not be over. I'm leaning towards it just being this one. There's not been any hint from commentary or anything on the show to indicate that there is a second. So I'm leaning towards this is it. This is all you're getting. This is the reveal. I understand that really the consensus is going to be this is a bit dull. Kind of wanted something a bit more exciting than this, but I don't know. I mean, Theory just makes sense. We haven't strung it out much longer. I mean, maybe we strung it out a bit longer than we needed to. Perhaps we should have revealed it straight after Survivor Series. But I don't mind them waiting a week or so. At least we've done it now. Imagine if we got all the way to 2026, got to that January show, and then it was revealed as Theory, and that was it, you know? So I do understand the criticism of, it's a bit dull, but yeah, it's just gone the way that we expected, really, and that's it. I'm really pleased for Theory. Makes total sense. I think that he is someone that can deliver now. It's sink or swim. This is his time. Everything has been built into this. It's time for him to deliver. And I think he will take a lot of losses for the group so that Bron and Bronson don't have to. But can he deliver some good character work? You know, think about Sammy in the Bloodline, where Sammy was taking losses, you know, so that others didn't have to. But he had such good energy and he had such a good character and he was so likable and people really warmed to him. That is what Theory has got to do. If I'm Theory, I am finding Sammy, and I am like, give me as much help as possible, because I feel like I'm in the spot you was in the bloodline. I'm going to have to take a lot of losses, but I'm going to have to try and, you know, be relatable. I'm going to have to try and be quite likable. I think the plan is he takes a lot of losses, gets a lot of grief, and ultimately, like, turns and becomes a babyface, but probably not for at least 12 months. Probably we got at least 12 months of him being in this group, taking L's, being bullied, being intimidated, like, and the crowd, like, starting to chant his name, like, urging him to stand up for himself. And then eventually he does. Just like what we saw with Sammy when he turned on Roman at the Royal Rumble the other year. Just like when we saw Daniel Bryan in the Wyatt family. The crowd were with him and he turned on Bray. And that was such an amazing moment. It feels to me like that's what we're doing here with Theory. I just really hope it works. I think there is something to Theory, and I really hope it works. And final words from Bron. So Raw ends with Bron sending a message to CM Punk. He was like, if you speak about my family again, you won't be able to walk. Right? So just sent a bit of a message there, and I kind of like that. So, yeah, that was the show. Was this a new era? No, not really. The in-ring was very underwhelming. Good 97, good 81, good 87, good 93. That's where we are with the in-ring from our community, right? All of those getting a good, like, 300 plus responses. So, for me, this is, like, lacking in-ring, but I like the open with Gunther. I like the reveal of the Mystery Man. At least that's done now, or it feels like it's done. I didn't hate Usos New Day. There was some stuff in there. I liked the CM Punk promo. I thought that was decent. This ain't no new era, right? Or at least it doesn't feel like it. Unless we're just going to call it a new era because it's the post John Cena active wrestler era, right? The first show of John not being an active wrestler. You know, you can say it's a new era in that regard, but not really in any other regard. I did like the backstage bit with the Vision, though. I thought that was better. That was an improvement on where we've been. So there's definitely reasons to have some thumbs up for this show. And I think there's definitely a few things to go and check out if you never watched this episode. But, yeah, for me, this is probably going to shake out about 6.5, 6.75, that kind of range. I think 6.75 feels about fair. I think, you know, had the matches have been better, then I think we could have got into the 7s. So, yeah, 6.75, 6.5, 6.75, that sort of range. Not a waste of time. I would say that for me. I didn't feel like I wasted my time. So I don't know what it's going to be going forward, though, because, you know, obviously we're pretty much done with 2025. Does feel like we're going to go into a Christmas period now with tape shows. I don't know what we're going to get out of those. Really, let's just try and get into 2026 as quick as we can, really. And then, you know, start building to Saturday night's main event, build into the Rumble, build into WrestleMania. So there we go. That was our breakdown. Really appreciate people joining us. Obviously, we'll have an opinions video on the second channel, and we'll be back later for NXT. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.